Good morning, friends, and welcome to our first garden walk and talk of 2025. It's currently mid-April in my Pennsylvania garden. We're now listed as a zone 7A, and I garden on half an acre and sell a small amount of cut flowers at our roadside stand. Right now we are currently standing in the main flower walk where I do a lot of succession planting in the hopes that we have something blooming all growing season. So right here at the entrance gate, I have a beautiful tulip called Design Impression. It's a pink tulip with hints of orange. As I move the camera slowly along, you'll be able to see some continental tulips are also starting to bloom. Those are the ones that are a dark maroon color. And then if I slowly move the camera this way, you'll see one that is a really dark eggplant purple. That one is called Paul Shearer. Now if I pull us back slowly, I do have a stand-up Pueblo daffodils right behind Design Impression. And I just love how that looks. I really wanted you to be enveloped with tulips when you sat in this bistro chair. We have lots of peonies and alliums and foxgloves to look forward to. Here's an apricot fox tulip returning from last year, along with Negrita double. Some Mount Hood daffodils going over at the moment. I did put together a few daffodil arrangements for inside and outside the house. I'm going to be hosting Easter this year, so I need to put arrangements on all of the tables out here. I added some more boxwoods to the main flower walk, and I want to add one more right after the bench so that we have a boxwood about every 6 feet in the garden just to help anchor the space. And I'm really excited to see how that works out and how it looks in the winter. Right here we have some Jimmy tulips. And then down below that, Princess Irene. Here's where I made my first mistake of the growing season. And I purchased a tulip by the looks of the bloom, and I forgot to check the mature height. So as you can see, Princess Irene is a very short tulip. I looked it up after, and it only is going to reach heights of 14 inches tall. But that's all right. Live and learn, right? So let me just step out of the border here for 1 second. You'll notice that the right side of the border is in bloom. Not quite full bloom yet, but by next week it will be in full bloom. And then the left side of the border is, I would say, about a week away from being in full bloom. That's because the left side of the border is in shade until about 3 p.m., but the right side of the border is in full sun all day long. Here's some more of those beautiful Design Impression tulips. I like how the foliage has a stripe around the edge also. Now I do have Purple Lady mixed in with these tulips, so as these fade, Purple Lady should take over for us. A single Jimmy tulip there. Now I forgot to review my notes, but I believe this variety is called Movada or Muvada, but this is the one that's coming back from last year, and I'm wondering, should I go ahead and pull it? Let me know what you guys think. I really love it, I'm just not sure it matches the color palette I was going for this year. Back behind that we have exotic Emperor tulips. Lots more Design Impression. Back behind that we have Barrett Browning daffodils, and I'll get you closer on Barrett Browning. I have some that are mixed back here with Woodstock hyacinth. And I really love that combination. I have some alliums mixed into this planting as well. So I'm trying to get 3 bulbs for the price of 1 in this location. Lots more alliums coming on here. Here's a close-up of a Jimmy Tulip. Isn't that stunning? And then here's some woodstock hyacinths that came up around those Movada tulips. And more woodstock on the other side of the border as well. Moving right along, we have more design impression tulips. I ordered 200 of each tulip variety. Some bleeding heart behind design impression. Golden echo on the right-hand side of the screen. And let me show you this view here before we move along. Accent daffodil on the right-hand side of the screen. I'm so excited to show you the hydrangea room. I love when all the lingerie daffodils are in bloom, and they are certainly in bloom right now and looking absolutely stunning. I have a whole raised bed full of lingerie daffodils because I just love them so much. About a week and a half ago, I mentioned how much I love accent daffodils, and I mentioned that I like accent daffodil over Salome, and I want to show you why. You can see that accent is still in bloom and not really showing any sign of weather at all. But you see Salome back there? It's already gone over. Isn't that interesting? Pueblo daffodils here behind my grandma's bench. I'll try to post a picture in my Instagram stories of what this area looks like from our upstairs bathroom. But I'm going to keep this area nice and simple. Just the 10 incredible hydrangeas, the pink charm tulips, pink charm daffodils, and I think that's it. I think I'm just going to stick with that, and it's going to be just a nice, peaceful space. The pots have started to bloom. We have Princess Irene, Big Love, and Frizzle Sizzle raspberry pansies in these pots from Henry's studio. And I love how this really encloses the space. I think for now I'll still call this the book nook. A lot of you suggested library patio, which I quite like. Maybe we can think of something in Italian to name it. So we have all of these pink charm daffodils, and then I just want to show you that against the fence line, I have lots of Delnashaw daffodils, and these are just a fantastic daffodil. Oh my word, I love them so much. I could just sit here on the mulch all day and look at them. I have them in between each of the panicle hydrangeas. And I did move a lot of my Amsonia back here. So back behind all of these incredible hydrangeas, we will have that Amsonia. And the same thing with these pots. These ones are in the shade most of the day, and the ones I showed you earlier are in full sun most of the day. That should correct itself in about a week's time. I made this daffodil arrangement earlier today. The only foliage I'm using is honeysuckle. This is an invasive honeysuckle in my area. It just pops up all over the place. So I always try to cut it back and just use it in home arrangements. And we have so many beautiful daffodils in here. We've got Delnashaw, Poeticus, White Lion, and did I pick any lingerie? Yes, it's so hard to tell, but this one is lingerie right here. I'll show it to you out in the garden close up in just one second. I can show you a view out the garden library window to the raised beds, so let's head over there now. In my shorter raised bed, I have the Pride series and the Impression series of tulips. We've got pink, orange, and apricot Pride, and here we have salmon, pink, and orange Impression. These ones we've grown before in the main flower walk. So you can see here pink Impression, orange Impression, and apricot is just coming on there. Oh, excuse me, it's salmon impression. Apricot is the Pride series, so we've got Apricot Pride, Pink Pride, that's definitely my favorite, and Orange Pride, but these are perfect for Easter. And having grown the Impression series before, I thought this would be the clear winner, but after seeing Pink Pride, I mean, let me get really close on this. This has to be the most beautiful tulip I've ever seen. I mean, it is pink, but you're also getting peach, you're getting orange, it's huge, it's tall, and it looks beautiful paired with the apricot and the orange. So I would definitely recommend this. Maybe I'll do this in the main flower walk next year. Let me know what you think about that. Moving right along to a bed that I have been selling, we have the Van Eyck series of tulips. Last year in the main flower walk, I believe we grew Mystic Van Eyck, which is more of a pink. This time I'm growing Orange Van Eyck. Oh, let me get you in focus there, sorry about that. Orange Van Eyck. And then this raspberry one is Lady Van Eyck. And then in between all of these, I have Woodstock Hyacinths, 150. In retrospect, I think planting the hyacinths and the tulips so close together was a mistake. I should have given them a little more room because I feel like the hyacinths are being suffocated. And when I go to harvest and sell these tulips, I try to pull the ones that are located right next to a hyacinth. You can see kind of where I've started to harvest through this bed. I interplanted lingerie daffodils and corsage lilies. You can see the lilies are starting to come up now, but just take a look at these absolutely stunning lingerie daffodils. If you are looking for a daffodil to add to your garden, to add to your cutting garden, that will make people stop in their tracks and ask you, what is that daffodil? This is the one to purchase, hands down. It's going to look similar to White Lion in the online pictures, but in person, this one is far superior. I mean, take a look at that. Wow. You just can't put a price on this beauty. The size of the blooms, huge, just huge. Half the size of my hand. I just love it. I love it so, so much. So we were back at that raised bed, and I'd like to pop over here to the hydrangea room where I have more lingerie daffodils in bloom and show you something interesting that happened from last year to this year. But first I want to show you our Muscari River that also has minnow daffodils running through it. It looks so beautiful, and once that evergreen screen grows up, this whole garden is going to be absolutely magical. It looks like there's a lot of holes in the garden, but it's filled with bare root perennials at the moment, and they're just not up yet. So let's head in here now. The sun is going down, so I hope you can see the picture all right. But here's some lingerie daffodils that I had since last year. And don't they seem a little bit less yellow and a little bit less fluffy? Now, is that because I cut their foliage off too soon? I'm not sure, but it's just something I noticed. And they're all like this, so just kind of interesting. It's just beautiful, isn't it? Here we are at the hydrangea room, where we have White Lion and lingerie daffodils in bloom. And we also have one of my favorite minor bulbs in bloom, which is the always beautiful and dainty summer snowflake. Let's take a close look at her. Isn't she lovely? Reminds me of Lily of the Valley. And this area has been such a blessing this year, because do you see this chair right here? For the first time in 9 years, I can sit in my garden and feel like basically no one can see me right here in this chair. trying to find some areas where you can have pure, unadulterated privacy in your garden. That's the only chair that I basically ever sit in, and I'm so thankful for it. Some of our lilacs are starting to bud up now. All the smooth hydrangeas are leafing out. Well, friends, we're losing the light now. But let me sneak into the garden and show you a view that I was enjoying earlier today. Oh, I wanted to show you this. Remember 2 years ago I told you I would leave some Labella Pock in the border and see if they returned in 2 years' time? Well, look at that. They sure did. So the mother bulb bloomed 2 years ago. This is the daughter bulb blooming after 2 more growing seasons. Friends, on our next garden walk and talk, I'll try to do a morning garden walk and talk so that we don't lose the light. So we're just walking through the hydrangea room together. And it seems appropriate that we end looking at the garden library. Uh-oh, what just happened? Well, friends, oh, Grace happened. Now I see. Gracie, were you chasing Rocky? Gracie, Rocky was here first. Well, friends, seeing as how we are losing the light, I'm gonna say goodbye. Thank you so much for joining me for this garden walk and talk. I wanna wish you all a wonderful holiday, and I'll see you next week. Bye, friends.